The BBC is collapsing in real time. Viewership at historic lows, endless scandals, and public finally turning on against the licence fee. Meanwhile, the TV licence meme has gone completely out of control, with Crimebodge and BlackBeltBarrister posting videos showing exactly how to stop enforcement officers entering your property and how to legally battle it. People are laughing at the whole system while still being forced to hand over £169 a year, funny number there, for propaganda broadcasting they hate. This isn't just a money grab anymore. It's an outdated relic of the 1920s that's long past its sell-by date. Today, we're exposing how bad the BBC's decline really is, how crazy the licence enforcement has become, and why the whole thing needs to be scrapped. We're covering the BBC's accelerating collapse, the viral TV licence refusal trend, and the practical advice coming from Crimebodge and BlackBeltBarrister on how to keep enforcement officers out of your home. We'll also look at why the licence fee itself is an archaic, authoritarian scam that should have been abolished years ago. The BBC's problems are no longer hidden. Viewership for flagship shows at record lows, iPlayer usage is declining, and younger audiences have almost completely abandoned it. Even with their propaganda, the corporation is hemorrhaging money while demanding more from the public through the licence fee. Scandals keep piling up, from the Hugh Edwards case to blatant political bias, climate activism disguising as news, and endless work programming that alienates normal viewers. What's worse is the arrogance. The BBC still acts like it's a public service while pushing agendas that most licence payers reject. They lecture the public on diversity, climate, and far-right threats, while their own trust ratings sit in the toilet. This isn't a temporary dip, it's a structural decline. People are voting with their feet and their wallet, and the licence fee is the only thing keeping this dinosaur alive. The internet has turned TV licence enforcement into a spectator sport. Crimebodge and BlackBeltBarrister have gone massively viral with videos explaining exactly how enforcement officers have no right to enter your home without a warrant, not to mention how police entering your home and what they are and aren't allowed to do under pace codes, as well as in cases of breach of peace or alarm distress or disorder. But some of these loopholes can result in police abusing their powers, including if they show up at your door with the licence in enforcement as intimidation tactic. They walk viewers through the legal loopholes. You don't have to open a door, you don't have to let them in, and simply saying "I do not consent to you entering" or "leave because you are trespassing" is often enough to send them away. These videos have millions of views because they tap into real anger. People are sick of being treated like criminals for not paying for content they never want. The memes are savage. TV licence goons getting earned at doorstep has become prime entertainment on YouTube and other platforms as they scuttle away. But underneath the laughs is a serious point. The enforcement system is heavy-handed, outdated, and relies on intimidation rather than consent. When even mainstream legal channels are teaching people how to resist it, you know the system is broken. Why the licensing fee is completely outdated and should be scrapped, you ask? The TV license was created in the 1920s, when there was one broadcaster and 3 channels. The world no longer exists with old-timey coloured TVs and a van to scan the non-paying licensed TV to detect them. We now have hundreds of streaming services, YouTube, and on-demand content. Forcing people to pay £169 a year for a state-backed broadcaster in 2016 is absurd. It's a regressive tax that hits the poorest hardest while subsidising a corporation that openly despises half the country. The licensing fee is essentially a poll tax on television ownership dressed up as public service contribution. It's outdated, authoritarian, and completely unnecessary. If the BBC were any good, people would voluntarily pay for theirs through subscription or advertising. Instead, they rely on legal threats and doorstep intimidation. especially scandals with like Gary Glitter and Jimmy Savile, yet they're never punished, not to mention taking hard-earned money is hypocritical of them. Scrapping the licensing fee would force the BBC to compete or die. Most normal people would cheer as it finally faces the consequences of its own decline. And also, not to mention, the TV license meme isn't just funny, it's also a fact that people finally pushing back against a scam that should have ended decades ago. And as well, even to do with Crimebodge and the BlackBeltBarrister, are telling people not to necessarily break the law, but they're also broadcasting how the law actually works, and are also the overreaching state broadcaster. Copper Stopper as well, I also wanted to mention, is basically a mini review, but I won't cover it too much in this video. And I just wanted to basically also ask people about trying to basically purchase this book, because it has lots of good legal advice for free. It's a 300-page book, and it basically explains how some of the UK law works, and as well to do with public order offences, as well how to legally defend yourself against, I guess, either bank coppers or people that are basically, or the coppers that are taking advantage of people, because obviously a lot of people do not understand how the UK law works necessarily. No one is taught, and as well it takes a lot of time to research it. So I would highly recommend getting Copper Stopper book to basically understand the law a lot better. You got a license, mate. So anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video about me talking about the TV UK license meme and how ridiculous it is, because as I mentioned in sort of like a mini promotion I just gave there with Copper Stopper made by Crimebodge, or as he's known as Rob Warner, that's also helped with a lawyer that helped him create the book. And obviously the licensing fee, you know, the UK license, you know, when the copper comes out and he's got a baton saying have you paid for that license? And obviously it's not an actual meme as well, because it has base in reality where, you know, they try and get you to cough up as much money as possible. And as well, you know, who even like actually wants to watch TV? It's basically just like a mini G in your house. But anyway, yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is that if avoiding this isn't necessarily against the law, it's just more of understanding the law, so you don't have the police officers just come in, or the, I guess, the TV licensing enforcement basically just come in and trample on you, because obviously they'll try and take your rights, or they might just fine you on the spot, because obviously you shouldn't be fined for something you obviously don't use. But I've actually heard as well, and BlackBeltBarrister talk about this, where the TV licenses is trying to be now legally more enforced to other subscription platforms like for example, Netflix and YouTube, which obviously is very ridiculous. And obviously after reading Crimebodge's book, I know a little bit more legally about how, you know, TV licensing enforcement works, and how whole TV license works in one regard and another. And just seeing this like trying to be very expansive to get people to cough up money, because I think they're trying to twist the whole TV licensing stuff, not just for like you having a TV, but also to do with, oh well, technically you're using your, I guess, TV to watch stuff on, so they're trying to twist it into like, oh, you have to still pay a TV license, which I own a TV, yes, but obviously you can watch like stuff from the internet, so it's not necessarily about, I guess, you know, if they're trying to be that expansive to do with, obviously that is a part of the internet, and that has nothing to do with TV licensing. You know, if you want to watch channels like the BBC or ITVX, that is also part of not just streaming services, that is a part of TV, which obviously, yeah, you can watch those platforms online if you've missed any of your TV shows. But again, like I said, the TV licenses should just be basically, in fact, like I said, it should be scrapped, but legally, as of now, it is basically should be only contained to something to do with like actual TVs, you know, like proper channels, like not just BBC, but also to do with like Channel 4 and a whole bunch of others. And as well, if you want to go in the link in the description below, with links to my other channels and my Discord as well.